Hey guys, have you ever wondered why some news feels like so trustworthy? Some news feels like it is sponsored, while some news feels like it is sensational. It is because there is not just one type of journalism, but there are six different types of journalism which has evolved over the period of time. And today, in this video, I'm going to decode all of these six types of journalism, which are not just important to know, but also important in your UGC NET and some of the entrance examinations of mass communication. So just watch this video till the end and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That it is the backbone of democracy. Yes, of course. तो जर्नलिज्म की जब हम बात करेंगे तो the accuracy comes in the forefront. The objectivity and impartiality. Whenever we talk about journalism, we always talk about objectivity. मतलब कि जर्नलिज्म में आपकी भावनाएं बिल्कुल भी नहीं आनी चाहिए. It should be completely objective. It should be completely impartial, you could say. यानी कि आपको पूरी तरीके से अपने ओपिनियंस वहाँ पर नहीं रखने. इट शुड बी कंप्लीटली अनबायस्ड. Okay, then fairness and balance. Of course, you have to maintain the balance. You have to take the perspective of everybody from those who are involved into that crime or maybe into that incidents. So everybody's perspectives are important to know. And of course, the independence from influence. Yes, because मोस्टली जर्नलिज्म आज के टाइम पे अगर देखा जाए तो जितने भी मीडिया हाउसेस हैं, न्यूज़ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, न्यूज़पेपर्स है, दे आर ऑल इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय सम काइंड ऑफ political party, you could say that. But actually, journalism is not about that. Journalism is about independence from influence. कई ऐसे journalists हैं, we all know some of the names of journalists, those who have resigned just because there was some kind of a power influence of some political parties, those who want to suppress their kind of ideology into this news organization, and that was the reason that they resigned from their position. So we'll not talk about that on detail. So it is just about the accuracy and truth, objectivity and impartiality, fairness and balance, and independence from influence. I think इतनी basic information तो आपको भी होगी journalism के बारे में. जब हम journalism की बात करेंगे तो we always talk about accuracy, truthfulness. कहते हैं ना, we are the torch bearers exposing some kind of a scams, or you could say that becoming a flag bearers, raising the voice, listening to the voice of the deprived people, uh, taking reporting from the ground and highlighting those issues to the public. These are all, this journalism is all about all of these things. But as I said, that journalism is not about that, because over the period of time journalism के बहुत सारे रूप बदलते आए हैं. So we'll talk about that, and it's really important to know what are the different how the journalism has evolved. So the first, you could say that evolution happens, and the first thing comes first, like the fast but risky, is the journalism. Yes, you heard it right. So journalism is it comes from a word called churn, यानी कि churning process, जो हम कहते हैं ना, churn करना, चीज़ों को निकालना. So quickly rewriting the press release, depending heavily on the PR agencies, do minimal fact checking. These are some of the examples of journalism, like the corporate press release published news, movies, promotions disguised as interviews, or brand funding stories, all comes under this journalism. It saves time, but it sacrifices credibility. Yes, you heard it right. यानी कि जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन हमें मिल रहा है, जर्नलिज्म में क्या करना है, आपको कोई भी फैक्ट चेकिंग नहीं करना है. यू जस्ट, जो इन्फॉर्मेशन आया, यू आर जस्ट चर्निंग इट, उसमें एक नया हेडलाइन लगा दिया, उसको कुछ ट्विस्ट एंड टर्न कर दिया, एंड देन यू आर जस्ट डिलीवरिंग इट टू द ऑडियंस. No sacrifices, nothing, no credibility, just zero credibility. And then you are just taking some of this news, editing, changing the headline and all that stuff, and just delivering it with some kind of sensationalism. कई बार आपने देखा होगा कई इंपॉर्टेंट क्लिपिंग्स, कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ से एक छोटी सी क्लिप उसमें से निकलती है, एंड दैट क्लिप बिकम वायरल. और वो क्लिप पक्का से कुछ कंट्रोवर्शियल होता है, कुछ सेंसेशनल होता है, एंड डे आफ्टर अनदर यू कुड सी that video, that clip becomes viral. So these are some kind of a journalism which has evolved, and those journalism has become journalism these days. ये बहुत ही मैसिवली फैल चुका है ये बीमारी जर्नलिज्म की. yes, and we are all enjoying it. We feel that this is news, this is journalism, but no, this is not. This is called as a journalism, where we just enjoying those news which are coming out and just twisting and turning the news and just delivering it to the audience. So this is the journalism is about that, right? Now the third is parachute journalism. मेरे नेट के एग्जाम में ये क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था, पैराशूट जर्नलिज्म, और उस पर कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट, इसमें कुछ ऑप्शंस थे, और मैंने उसको गलत ऑप्शन को गलत आंसर करके मैं आ गई थी, एंड दैट डे आई रियलाइज दैट ये चीज़ तो मुझे कभी भूलनी ही नहीं चाहिए. So this is about the parachute journalism, which is called, also called, you could say it as a temporary reporting. Okay, so what is that? So parachute journalism happens when reporters are sent suddenly to unfamiliar locations. You could say that usually during crisis. So they don't know the local language, they don't know the culture, they rely on limited sources, they leave once the headline fades. So these are some kind of a parachute, यानी कि एक रिपोर्टर को कोई आइडिया ही नहीं है, he's been given an assignment that they have to go to a war conflict zone, and then the reporter don't know exactly what is this war about, what is the political dynamics, the people's perception, nothing. They have not done any reading, they have not done any research, and they are just going there just because एक headline important news वहाँ पर flash हुआ है, and they need to report it. So that kind of a reporting, उसमें आपको कोई मज़ा नहीं आएगा. It will be just a parachute journalism, because the reporter do not have no idea about the current happening. So the international reporters, they are covering floods, riots, or disaster without any deep local context. So this is called as parachute journalism, which is good for visibility, but it is actually weak for in depth. So this is about parachute journalism. I hope you understood that. Now let's come next, Gonzo journalism. Now, very interesting. So Gonzo journalism is also called as a personal and a kind of a bold journalism, because Gonzo journalism throws objectivity out of window. Yes, you heard it right. Yeah, objectivity out of window. Now, what it means that the journalist becomes the part of the story. मैंने एक बताया था ना कि जर्नलिज्म में अपनी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू हमें नहीं रखनी होती है. वी हैव टू कवर द न्यूज़ जस्ट एज इट इज़, जिस तरीके से वो न्यूज़ है हमें सिर्फ वैसा हाँ बताना है. बट इन गॉन्जो जर्नलिज्म यू बिकम द पार्ट ऑफ द स्टोरी, एंड यू आर कवरिंग दैट स्टोरी थ्रू योर लेंसेज. आप अपनी चीज़ें, अपनी भावनाएं, अपने इमोशंस कहीं ना कहीं लोगों को बता रहे हैं. सो दिस यूजेस द फर्स्ट पर्सन नरेशन. It adds emotions, opinions, experiences. So say for example Hunter as Thompson's writing or immersive travel and political stories. So it's a storytelling, not straight reporting. Okay, so जहाँ पर अपनी चीज़ें, you're just giving a storytelling, you are just not reporting, you are just delivering us kind of a story. So this is called as a consult journalism. I Now let's come to the next part. The next one is the advocacy journalism. So let's talk about, नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा होगा कि एडवोकेसी जर्नलिज्म क्या है. टेकिंग अ स्टैंड, राइट. सो एडवोकेसी जर्नलिज्म ओपनली सपोर्ट्स अ कॉज. किसी एक कॉज को सपोर्ट करना इज कॉल्ड एज एडवोकेसी जर्नलिज्म. So here a journalist promotes social justice or reforms, highlights the marginalized voices. They are transparent about their stance. कई बार आपने देखा होगा कि कोई भी क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है, जैसे कि दिल्ली के प्रदूषण के बारे में. सो दे आर द ऑल द मीडिया, दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट pollution, they are talking about, they are raising questions to the government, Delhi government, क्यों हो रहा है इतना pollution, उस पे क्या काम हो रहे हैं. So the media becomes a torch bearer in this case. Sushant Singh Rajput ka case, I hope you all can recall and remember. So all the media houses, they raise their voice, they ask about, the CBI inquiry and everything. They raise questions to Riya Chakrabarti. Some of the media trials also happened during that time. So these kind of reporting where you are advocating or you are taking a stand of some kind of an you know incidents, and you're talking about the women's right, you're talking about the farmers issues, you're talking about climate change, you're talking about some rape cases where the some of the political party son or ministers are involved into it, and the media houses are raising questions about that. Yes, so that is called as advocacy journalism. I hope you all must have seen one movie called Rani Mukherjee ki movie thi No One Killed Jessica. So that was a perfect example for advocacy journalism. I was stunned. I just loved that movie, and I was doing my बैचलर्स ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम, तो मैंने वो जो मूवी हॉल में देखी थी ना, वो मेरे दिमाग में रह गई। आई थिंक थर्ड ईयर में थी मैं, इफ़ आई रिमेंबर। तो वो एक मूवी थी जो मुझे बहुत पसंद आई थी। नहीं देखा तो देखिएगा, नो वन किल्ड जेसिका। नाउ द पर्पस ड्रिवन बट नॉट न्यूट्रल, कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट and maybe the last, yellow journalism. Now, yellow journalism is sensational and dangerous, both. So, yellow journalism focuses on shock value, exaggeration, emotional manipulation. Headlines are loud. Headlines could be misleading. उसके कहते हैं ना, bold font और capital में वो ऐसे misleading, fear-driven headlines देते हैं. So, like the breaking news without facts, they are just uh, some kind of there's absolutely no fact about it. Fake outrage debates create karna, exaggerated crime reporting karna, Somanam Raghuvanshi and Raja Raghuvanshi ke case mein, I know there was some kind of a fact, but then that was kind of a yellow journalism. But then almost like 15-20 दिन तक उस न्यूज़ को repeatedly दिखाया गया, and from the very, so always remember, news can influence you, they can inform you, and they can even manipulate you. So choose wisely. All right. So that is all for today. If you like this video, then don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe it. Bye bye.